what? Does the action. So if we say beer can't drink, who can't drink? Beer, right? So that's why these are special. With these questions, you need the whole sentence. Remember, in Chinese, 如果是啤酒不可以喝，我们了解是人不可以喝啤酒, right? We understand who needs to do the action. But in English, if you don't say that idea, can't drink beer, it's still not right. Because our question is who can't drink the beer? Or what can't do this? So we need those ideas. We always need these words, right? And this tells us other things. So where you can't drink, when you can't drink. Now, when we ask the question, we like to turn words around. Where can you not drink beer? 这是比较难的. But the main idea is you can have where, or when, or why, or how someone can do something. Okay? So when you ask your questions, try to use these words. Try to make a whole sentence. Try. But if it's wrong, don't worry. I can help you. Okay? So do your best. Everybody has to ask at least one question. Okay? Who wants to go first? The first questions are the easiest ones because there are easy ideas like, how old are you? Right? And the people who ask the questions first, they get the easy ideas. If you wait until the end, there's no easy questions left. You have to ask harder ideas. So, where do I live now? Good. Now I live in Tanwen, in Miaoli. Okay, you know Zhunan. You guys know Zhunan, right? In Zhunan, the train line splits to the ocean and the mountain, okay? And Miaoli City is on the mountain line, right? If you go to the ocean line, then the first stop is Tanwen. So Tanwen is a really small town. There's an elementary school, the Gosha. There's a police station and a train station, and that's it. Oh, there's a 7-Eleven or something, High Life maybe, one of those, but that's it. Okay, so a very small town. So I live in Tanwen with my family. Okay? Next question. There's a lot more questions you can ask. There's even other where questions you can ask. So keep going. Go ahead. Try. What am I doing? Okay. Well, right now, I am trying to get you to ask questions. That's what I'm doing. So that's a good question. In English, we have a difference between what are you doing and what do you do, right? So this is one of the things that's different in English and Chinese. How are these two ideas different? What are you doing or what do you do? 中文, what do you do? 是什么意思? 你在做什么是 what are you doing, right? 你在做什么? So what do you do? could be your work, could be 工作, right? Or, well, 现在的是他, right? What do you do? Could be just, usually it's work. Sometimes, is that a phone or people playing outside? Okay. When we say, what do you do? Often we put more of this in here. What do you do when students don't ask any questions, right? What do you do in your bathroom? Okay, that's a strange question. But a good answer is, in the bathroom, you practice your English, right? Because of the mirror, so we can still ask that, right? So when we have a simple question, sometimes we give a little bit more of a context, where or when or why, okay? So that's a good point though. What are you doing, what do you do? What else can we ask? More questions? Guys? If you don't ask me, then I will ask you, and then everybody has to give me an answer. So you still have to talk. What do I like to eat? That's a good question, right? When we have a what question, it often goes with certain ideas. For example, what do you like, right? What do you like to eat? I like tofu. Yeah, but tofu, I can't eat it too often because, you know, it's not so healthy. But you could ask another question here. Right, why do I like tofu? All right, so there's two answers to that. I like tofu first because of who I ate it with. When I first came to Taiwan, I could not eat tofu, right? Like most foreigners, right? But I had some students who were very good friends. And we worked together a lot, we had a lot of fun together, and they made me try tofu. And I found I enjoyed it. So I ate it with my students, and that's one reason why I like it. But there's another reason why I like tofu. Do you know a lot of white people who like tofu? Like if there's one place in Taiwan where you can go and you can be sure there are no white people. You know in Taipei, the tofu place, Sankan, right? If you go there, guaranteed, no white people, right? So, one reason is that a lot of the white people in Taiwan are tourists. Do you know what a tourist is? They come to Taiwan, they look around, they take pictures, right? And they talk about how things are better in their own country. And then they go back home. And there's a lot of teachers in Taiwan who are tourists. They don't understand you because they don't care, right? They're here to make money and to look at the pretty girls. I mean, Taiwan has a lot of pretty girls, right? So, a lot of the teachers in Taiwan, they're not interested in being in Taiwan. And for those people, maybe they go to the night market so they can complain. Oh, it smells so bad. How can you eat that, right? But then they go to McDonald's to eat. And I don't like those people. I really can't stand people who think that way. So for me, if there's a white person who eats tofu, I think that person really wants to be in Taiwan. That person is trying to understand what it means to be Taiwanese. So that person will try to understand you and will try to help you and doesn't just care about making money and looking at pretty girls, right? So that's why I like tofu. For me, it's very political. Okay, so good question. All right. Next.
Have you ever tried using help?
Yes, actually I have. All right. 猪血糕. How can we put that into English? 猪, pig. All right. Gao, you know. Cake. Right? Basically, that's what it is. All right, shit. Now, if you can't think of a word, then we need to describe it. All right? This is why you don't need to know all the words. You just need to use the words that you can think of. So, what we could say is, 猪血糕. It's like cake, right? It's actually more like pudding, right? But okay, it's like cake, and this one, you mean the one with rice in it, right? So you make it with rice, right? And with the 猪血, how do we say that? So there's an animal. It has a nose, with 2 holes in it, and it goes oink oink, right? And its tail is like this. Okay, so pig. And you use pig meat to make this cake. But it's not the meat, right? Blood. If we can't think of the word for blood, what color is blood? Red, right? Red what? It's like the red water, right? In the pig. So, you use rice and red water from the pig to make this cake. You see what I mean? It sounds a little bit stupid, but it works. You can explain what you're talking about, and then that way, even if you don't know the words, the right words, people can still understand you. So, it is a good question. What about the pig blood cake? Actually, yeah, I've tried it. I think it's good for you to have some sometimes, because there's a lot of iron, right? There's a lot of what you need for your own blood, right, in that cake. The same thing with duck blood, right? In chodofu, you can sometimes have the duck blood, right? Yeah. So, a lot of foreigners, they don't like to eat blood. But there are places where they eat a lot of blood. Italy? Italy, right? I had some friends who came from Italy. When they were children, their parents gave them a kind of pudding, right? Pudding, right? Their parents said, it's chocolate pudding. So the children, they grew up and they had this chocolate pudding. Maybe every day they had some chocolate pudding. And when the children became older, they learned that it wasn't chocolate, it was blood. Right? It's the same thing, really, It's just, if you call it duck blood, people know what it is. If you say it's chocolate pudding, then your children want it. So, it works. So yeah, I think I've tried almost everything in Taiwan. And almost everything here I like, yeah. Okay, so good question. Next. There's a lot of people questions we can still ask, right? I know in Taiwan, not everybody does this, but in Western countries what this means. Right, so, you can put this as a where question, or you can say it as who. You can even use what, right? Do you think my wife comes from Canada? Okay, so she comes from Taiwan, because I said, well, Tai Tai Xing Ling, right? Alright, so you can still ask where questions, right? It's not, I came to Taiwan and we got married, right? There's always a story, so ask. There's when and where and why and how. can ask that.
When did you get married?
When did we get married? Good. So we got married 13 years ago. Yeah. My son is 12, so 13 years. It's an easy way for people to remember, right? You look at how old your kids are. So we got married 13 years ago. Do you remember what I said? When did I come to Taiwan? 16 years ago. So I came to Taiwan, and after 3 years, my wife and I got married. Okay, so that's a good when question. What else can we ask? There's a good where question there. Try. It doesn't matter if the sentence isn't perfect. You can start with you, your wife, where. I mean, it's not good English, but you need to start somewhere. And then we can build the question. But you need the main ideas. So, try.
We would like Taiwan.
Okay, we
Why?
do that too.
Why?
All right, why? Why do I like Taiwan? That's a good question. Well, Tolofu, right? There's one reason. And pretty girls, really. Taiwan has the most beautiful girls in the world. Also, the people in Taiwan are more real, more honest. Okay? I don't mean honest like they never cheat. What I mean is, in Canada, I don't know if you guys have heard, but people keep looking down here, I wonder why. In Canada, people always say that we're very polite. They say that Canadians are very polite. 加拿大人是很有礼貌的人, alright? But the problem is, polite doesn't mean honest. A lot of Canadian people, when they smile, they smile like this, you know, and their eyes stay the same, and they can be like, I hate you, but then they smile and it looks really weird, right? In Canada, a lot of people, they are polite, but you can't always see how they really feel. But in Taiwan, one of the things I love about the people in Taiwan is when you're happy, it's your whole face, right? And if you're angry, then people can tell, right? Your whole face. So I think Taiwan people are more beautiful because of that. When you smile, it's your whole face that smiles. And that just makes people really more attractive. So that's one reason why I like Taiwan. But also, it's a good country, I think. In Canada, we have a lot of problems. And I know there's problems in Taiwan too, but Taiwan's a better place, I think, yeah. Okay, so good question, that's a why. So, you girls haven't said much. Guys? Try.